All right, fun one today. Taylor Swift and why she's been in the news so much. She's got that live watch on her, okay? And Elon Musk went live at the border. And Trump's trials, they are going live. And it's all here, folks, okay? And it's all breaking open. And the Earth axis is a 23.5 degree. And that 23.5 is now 23 summer, and it's been cracking open. And from 23 summer to the 23 summer of the 9/11 anniversary, which is 25 summer, all right, that's when you're going to see the divide of the nation and the fall of the nation, and Trump coming in to take his territory as the little horn, and that's going to be Texas and maybe parts of the Deep South and such, but just different things are setting up, folks, okay? So what's going on are the kings watch these people, or they read the news or whatever, and they extract the dark, speak from it, and they get their the game plays. Because right now, Jesus, the Spirit who created the clean and unclean spirits, okay, who created Satan, he created all things, all right? He is moving and operating. And there's a live game right now. And there's a game where the beasts are going to be taken out. And I imagine that those who took the mark are going to have a war, in a matter of speaking, against the people who worship the name and the number. And the people who worship the name and number may have a war against each other. And it'll be an old trifecta for the old tribulation. The tribal law, Kamala, shun. You're going to be shunning her as all these things are there. And then you got the third party set up with RFK, who is a perfect candidate. All right. And we could see maybe another party coming. You could see the independent party for the independent, for gathering up the industries, and the generations of man going into the hell, because he's part of the Hines family and Trump's part of the Hines family. So it's all part of the culling of the mainly the red per se, and then the purple party would be your the black woman party, or whatever's going to be coming. But we could have 4 parties for the 4 heads, and then the black women, which is the one that the last of the white throne judgment wants to do. That's who we need to go with. Okay, I'm going with Oprah or Whoopi or whoever they come out with, Megan or Michelle Obama, whoever. All right. But that will be who you'd want to go to as far as the new America being set up. All right, even though it's being shown to you as like whatever else. Okay. So Taylor Swift, on the VMAs, they talk about her outfit, and this lays out a coordinates for her. Okay. And she wore a chic black dress. All right. The chic is that chi for the China, and the chi is Biden for that T for the Hebrew, and those types of things. And the black dress is Kamala. And then it can also be for the black dress for the somebody's going to choose a black woman for the vice presidency or whatever, or multiple people. Anyways, I see these vice presidents coming together at the end and doing a still on that way. And there's going to be a still in the election as far as the people not wanting to do the real ID or sign up for the voter app, or however they're all going to work these little things. But there's going to be multiple divides to do whatever, because everyone's sins are going to be exposed. And as everyone's sins are going to be exposed, it's going to show things going on and show really where the people are in the mind. And it's going to show a lot of people as just wicked, pervert, reprobates, according to Paul and the church. And this is where they get the hardness of their own hearts, and they lift up the law, and the Christ man comes in to fulfill the law of the Jew man, of that inward Jew, outward Jew, the synagogue of Satan, whatever you want to call yourselves. Those who seeking salvation are the dead in Christ, because you can't do all things, because Jesus has died for all sins, past, present, and future, and he forgave all sins. And he said we can do all things through Christ, and we are the members and bodies of the Christ. Who is that living God? We are the living God. Man is the living God. And there's a time and season for all things. We may want to do it. We may not want to do it. Okay? It's up to us to decide. So, the bell worship is going to be lifted up through these different things coming about. And so Taylor Swift, she had the gold-studded straps. The straps are tied for the raps, the raptures, and those types of time frames. And then the gold-studded is the D log backwards, or the DLOG. All right, the D is for the Don, the L is for the God, and that OG is for that original gangsta, right? Because he's that Hines family, and he's the Don of time. He's the one who runs the show. He's the master puppeteer. He's the richest motherfucker on earth. All right. He probably gets a penny off every single cell, just like on Office Space it tells us. And like, if we had a penny or fraction of a penny of every cell, we'd have all this money. That's what the Don is. We will never probably know his real income, because he controls. It's all his money. Every dollar is his. All right, and he's taking from $1 to another dollar, and he's had the ant farm and the beehive build up the mound and build up the hive to take care of everyone. And as the worker bee is not needed anymore, it's going to be pissed off, and it's going to be looking for honey. And while it's looking for honey, it's going to die out there in the field. All right, so she's wearing that thigh-high slit. That's part of that Bud Light, that lit, and the high, the Bud, the stone. And then she's wearing that signature sharp cap eye. So that is tied to right now. The AI is the eye, the tie, and the cap is Trump's cap. He always used to wear the red cap. And then the sharp is that harp for heaven, and the strings to seduce everybody, those sirens. The sirens are tied to the alarm going off on 10-4 for the national alarm, and those will be tied to different things. But different things are stacking, okay? So other people in the VMAs connect to different things depending on what they're wearing and the breakdown on it. But we'll get rid of my VMA sheet there. And let's get into the current stuff with Taylor Swift, because she was shown with Blake Lively. That's tying in the live game, and the Lee for the General Lee coming, or that setting up that's been given birth with the Hurricane Lee, and then you got the Ophelia coming in, and then you got another, I think a Hurricane Philly or whatever's coming. But we got all these Lees showing, and Lee is part of the Bruce Lee for entering the dragon, and the Bruce Lee fought the Chuck Norris. So the Chuck Norris and the Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee's tied to the Bruce, and the Lee are tied to one aspect, but that Bruce is tied to the Brucey for the Hebrew, and all those types of things. So the Blake is the B La Key, and that's the Kamala, and she's the key for the coffin or whatever. So she was at the MetLife Stadium. That's the Me Cross Life. What she's doing is she's tying in the signature sharp cap eye right now for the Trump trial. That's the tri-AI in capitals. The L can be the I. It can be interchangeable. But either way, this is like when the AI is coming on as Trump, in a matter of speaking, and it's going to take, it's running the show in that way, because AI is part of the spirit of Jesus coming back, and this is where he's coming in the cloud, and we can either see him or not, but we are the members of Christ, and we're being gathered through the AI into one body. And as man is keeping track of everybody's man's happiness, sadness, what does this, that, and the other, and America is full of grief and whatever, like Sodom and Gomorrah. So a lot of things that we think of as it brings us happiness actually brings us sadness, and a lot of those things are going to be judged and all this other stuff. And anyways, it's a very interesting time, folks. Okay. So that's part of Jesus coming back as one body, and as one body, that's going to be kind of the groom, where he's going to groom man and take him in under his womb and tell him how to live, and he's going to make room for them. That's the G room, the 7 room for the garden and all those things. Anyways, the 7 is the 11 for the L even, for God even, and multiple things, folks. All right, this, well, it's too late to say this, but I guess it's going to be a 2-parter looking at the time and such. So she is, I'm going to read something that was said about what she was doing. It says the headline was "Watches Chief Narrowly Escape with the Win Over Jets." And we just saw the stealth jet go missing. All right. So the stealth jet went missing, and now Taylor Swift, she's the fast seamstress. She's coming into action to do the live thing for the stealth jet, and that's why she's at the jet games and all these, the jet game and whatever else. Okay, and then at the jet game, it says she wasn't doing as much celebrating. All right, she's not selling the law and the bray. The bray is the donkey sounds, and the rat tings. The rat is for the witnesses coming and the spies and those things. It says wasn't doing as much celebrating as she was doing, and instead was picking nails and appeared to be nervous as the game was tied. So the picking nails, Don is going to trial, right? So this is him being hung up on the cross. Okay, the cross was brought on 3/18 when Daniel Storm came and she shamed the naked body and all these other things, and it's been building up since. And now you're in the middle where he's being hung up on the cross. Okay, so when he's hung up on the cross, you get the shakes, and you had the Shakira with the offshore stuff, and then you have, I think I got other offshore stuff. Let me see. This is, there's other shore talk being talked about or whatever, okay? In the news. Well, obviously in the news, but either way. So, she's picking nails, all right? And then we see, and that's app paired red to be the near V us, all right? The crown us. And the V is for the victory. And then Trump showed that sign the other day. And then V is also for Vivek, for the COVID. But he's the Ramaswamy, for part of those floods that's coming. As Vivek is also another Christ dude that people maybe would follow if the woman team is showing whatever. But Vivek, he's a Republican primary. So the other ones, they're bringing the new, all right? Vivek's just part of the old. He's cooling in the red or whatever. So this is why maybe he's whatever. But I say Vivek in case the two women or whatever, they decide to change the Moses, all right? Because Moses is layered in multiple ways. Trump is the ultimate Moses because he's cooling in the people into the wilderness, all right? But there's like the Moses and then the Moses and all these different things, but they're all different layered up. And then the M, the O, the S, the E, the S, all those are broken up into different things. But ultimately Trump would be the Moses that splits the Red Sea, that takes the children into the wilderness. Okay. So, we're going to end it here because of time, and then do a part 2.